Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
I think just firstly you have to do hard, yeah?
Yeah.
So one more thing. Really short. Just play top spin, okay?
Okay.
Just for one more, play one second. Just follow the white ball back into the middle of the table. Good. Again. Really concentrate on trying to hit the cue ball in the middle, above centre, yeah?
Yeah.
Because sometimes with a little bit of spin, you can see the cue ball sometimes goes like this. So I know you're trying to anyway, but really try to focus on hitting the cue ball sort of above centre, but try not to put any sides on, okay? I know you're not trying to, but I want to. See there, how that's good. No, that's natural angle for me. Sometimes it goes like this a little bit, so that means you've got a little bit of left spin. But that one there, for me, the cue ball should come like this, really.
Yeah.
So it heads back towards where it is now. That's normal.
Sometimes I forgot this game and need to use the power, right? The musician, when you want soft or the follow side, maybe you need
No, I don't. I think you have to make sure that your hand is firm on the table so it doesn't move. But you don't need to grip the clock too hard. All you need to do is you want more elevation in your grip, and just bring your fingers back towards your knuckles to make it higher. But really, what you need is you need this hand to be solid. It doesn't have to be too much power, but you need your arms to be relaxed because you need your body to be relaxed. And if this arm is relaxed, if your arms are just like resting on the table and not tense, then the rest of your body shouldn't be tense either. So it's not too much. I don't know what he means by creating power from that, and I don't understand that. What does he mean? to close your eyes. Play the shot before you hit the cue ball. Close your eyes.
Close eyes.
Yeah, keep them closed. And again, so line it all up, get ready, and then before you hit the white, shut your eyes. And keep your eyes shut while you play the shot. You know what happens when you close your eyes, when anybody closes their eyes, for some reason, there is no body movement at all. So all you do then is just push the cue through. So look, I'm not going to say to you when you're playing the match, close your eyes. But what's very important when we play a shot is that we stay still. And you don't move a lot, but sometimes you move a little bit. But when anybody ever closes their eyes, for some reason there's no expectation about what's going to happen. So they just stay still. And it's a very good technique to practice to make you stay still. And you'd be amazed at how many times the ball still goes in the pocket. Because obviously you've lined everything all up. So just at the last second, just sometimes at the last second, just shut your eyes. Do it again now. So get everything prepared, ready to hit the white ball. As soon as you're ready to hit the white ball, just shut your eyes. No, but you shut your eyes too soon. So what I'm saying is you get everything ready. You're about to,
Close my eyes after
at the last time you move your cue, okay? So you're going to go like this, you get ready, and then just when you bring your cue back, then just close your eyes. Don't close your eyes too early, otherwise you might not be ready. And in it goes. Try again one more. Look, you're going to miss some. But what I'm saying is it's very good. It's very important that when we play shots that we stay still. Now I don't stay still. I know I don't stay still. But invariably, when I move is when I miss. I have to tell myself, even now after playing pool or snooker or whatever, 30 years, stay still. Because it's not, you watch all the snooker players, I don't know if you watch snooker or not, but they all stay perfectly still because they know they have to. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to push the cue through in a straight line. And if you move, the chances of the cue going through in a straight line are smaller. Yeah. So that's why all the snooker players, they're all like robots. They never move. Yes. They stay perfectly still. Yeah. At pool, you can get away with a bit of movement because the pockets are bigger, the game's a little bit easier. Yes. But at snooker you can't. But it's very important, even for me, if I've got a long straight shot, even now, say if I've got the 8 ball here, the 9 balls here, and I need to play a straight shot, even now, after 35 years of playing cue sports, I will still say to myself, keep your head down, stay still. Because I know it's so important. And we can't do it all the time, but if we can do it more than less, it's better. It's not a massive problem, you don't move a lot. Some people, look at Gerhard. Gerhard's like, every shot is up like that. What chance is it? That guy's a very intelligent guy. He's a grandmaster of chess. So he's very, very clever. Why can't he, I always think this to myself, why can't he adapt his knowledge to give himself a better chance of potting balls by staying still? But he can't. He's just, I don't know what it is. But some people can get away with it. Some people will move and they'll still go in. But invariably, if you stay still, you've got more of a chance of the cue ball going where you want it to go. Do 5 more. You don't have to close your eyes anymore, but try and stay still. Very good, you see. The good technique to try and remember is if you can stay still until the ball goes into the pocket or the cue ball stops moving, that's good. Now sometimes you can't really do the cue ball stops moving, so it might come back around and the cue or you. But if you can try to stay still until the ball goes in the pocket. Good, really good. The problem is that we need that to be natural. We don't want to have to think about that. But you know when you're playing a game, you're thinking about position, you want it on the next ball. The actual staying still part is something that we need to be automatic, and it isn't. It won't be for you, it won't be for me, it won't be for anybody. Well, the more we can do it, the better. Good, really good, stay still, very good. Last one. Now I want you to play your favourite shot. Which is the shot you don't like? This one?
Yes, this is okay, but you notice if I tell you when the white ball nearly one ball or two ball space, maybe I miss, you know. So that's why if this ball near the or here, I feel not seeing, you know. I think it's difficult more than close the.
Really? Just that much?
Yes. I think.
And what about the cue ball there?
Cue ball, the angle sometimes good, sometimes.
Like that?
Yeah, so like that.
You don't like the shot?
No, if I want the soft, but many times soft.
Soft is okay, yeah?
No, soft is not okay because when I shot inside, maybe white ball go there. I don't know.
Well, the natural angle is for the cue ball to come over here anyway. Yeah, if you play the shot,
I think it's soft.
if you play the shot just middle cue ball, the cue ball will go towards that bucket. It's going to go over there. That's like natural angle. It's going to go in that direction.
So if a lot of power to soft white ball level.
You're not going to change the path of the cue ball very much unless you draw the white. You go with the lower cue ball, it will come more over here. But the problem is, because you have quite a bit of angle on the shot, it's not so easy to change the path of the cue ball. But obviously it is very close, it's quite close to a scratch. If this was here, then that's very, very close to a scratch. And then we'd have to play with spin to avoid the scratch. Because what you can't do, because the angle on the shot is quite big, it's not easy to change it. But yes, you can play with bottom, you can play with the right spin and make it go there. Less spin will make it go more this way. But you can't change it a lot just because of how much the angle is. And of course, if you play this with right spin, it makes the pot harder as well. Because when the cue ball hits the object ball, it sends, because you've got right spin, it sends the object ball the opposite way, so it sends it to the left. So it's actually trying to go away from the pocket.
Yeah. If this ball, I don't like this ball because if I shot this ball, I want to call it neither here or here somewhere.
Well, for me, if the last ball is here, that's a very difficult shot. Very, very. I'm not saying it can't be done, but it's very, very difficult.
This ball for me, if ball here, but you know, if
sure.
I scare the spike, maybe I can.
If that's the last two balls here, and you have that shot, that's very, very difficult. Really difficult. I'm not saying it can't be done, because also you could scratch him there. See, that's the problem. Is that there's no easy way to get away from that situation. You know what I would say there is you have to play with inside spin and go here like this. But then the point is you can hit it really nice and go like this, and come here, and you're still in the position. But sometimes you don't have a choice. You know, sometimes you might have to play the shot like that. But you know, I can play the shot perfectly. And look, and the white comes all the way there, and it stops there, and you have nothing. But you don't have. There's not really another option. The only other option is to try to draw back. If the cue ball is more straight, so if you're like here, yes, you probably can draw back. But, I mean, that's a bad shot. But you can probably draw back to here. But it all depends on how much the angle is.
So I know they don't like this. I want to really play this very, very good.
Where's the cue ball?
This angle.
Well, that's a hard shot. That's not an easy shot. That's not an easy shot.
Of course,
well, that's also, you know, that's a missable shot. If it's like that, okay, that's that. For me, that's easy. For me, that's an easy shot. But that. But what's important here?
If this is night, if this is number one ball, I shot this video. If this is night, I miss it.
You have to forget it's a 9 ball. You have to concentrate on the ball and not think what number it is. Not think about what happens if you pot it or if you miss it. Just pretend it's any ball.
I don't know when I shot this video for 9 ball.
If you have this shot, you don't know what to do.
I know maybe a little bit right speed.
A little bit, yeah.
Here and here, right? But many times when I shot, I don't know why or maybe touch 9 ball. And maybe 9 ball still here, 1 ball here.
It will get close to the 9. The natural angle, so the natural angle in that situation is probably going to hit the 9.
I cannot handle this angle is this angle very close to the person. That's why I'm not sure why.
I understand that and also because the contact is very thin, it's harder to read the natural angle. You know, if you have this shot like this, then you can see the natural angle more clearly because the contact on the ball is fuller. When it's close to the cushion like this, and also very thin. It's very difficult to read the angle, to see exactly where it is. I understand that totally. That's not something that's just you. That's everybody. You know. Of course, the more we play and the more we have these shots, the more we learn and we know. Like you said, you need to play a little bit of right spin. But I mean, that's a missable shot.
You see, okay.
I played a little bit of right spin there.
Yes.
Because I know that if I play more,
if you miss, and if you misable or you cannot coordinate or maybe coordinate, you know what's going to happen. But for me, I don't know what's going to happen because I cannot 100% shot in the center. Pure center. That's
what you have to do is you have to learn from your mistakes. So when you have this shot and you know that you have to try to learn from your mistakes. It's like when you play a game and you miss a certain shot. You have to remember it and then learn from it so that the next time you have it, doesn't mean you're going to make it. Look, this shot, if you have this shot, everybody can miss that. Everybody can miss it. And Millsy might be very good at them, but he's never going to pot it every single time. That's a hard shot because what you're doing is you're playing with outside spin.
Yeah.
So you're playing with a little bit of right spin there. But what that does is, when you hit the ball, when you play with right spin, it initially sends the cue ball to the left. So you have to aim to hit it, and then it can come back. So in very slow motion, the cue ball's almost going like that. So it's almost swerving because you play with a little bit of right spin. So you have to aim to hit the ball thicker, because when the cue ball hits the object ball, it will throw that ball to the right. But what you did there, see, look, I missed that thing. But when you missed it thick, so you're not allowing for like the spin. So on a new cloth, that goes in the pocket. So, and also for me, when I'm playing this shot as well, it's important when we're playing pool. It's very important that we try to make the best of what the table gives us. So, for example, let's go back to when you played Chen on Tuesday in the 10-ball final. And you have the combo of the 10 and 5.
Because my eyes cannot see, right? That's why I can't.
It's not an easy shot. It's not an easy shot. But for me, what you did wrong was you hit it too hard. Because if you think about it, if you can hit the ball a bit softer, then the pockets become a little bit bigger. You see Millsy play, you see me play. Many times the ball goes down the cushion and it hits the jaws and it drops in. Yeah. But that's because of how hard we hit the ball. If we have to hit the ball harder, we have to be more accurate. You know that if I play this shot and I hit it really, really hard, I have to be very accurate. I have to be very accurate with that. If that hits, no, not about the cue ball, if that ball hits this, it's going to wobble because of how hard I hit the ball. If I play it very, very soft, I can almost miss it and it'll still go in. So I can play this very, very soft. That might still go in because of the speed.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is when you have your 10 ball, something, 5 balls like there, yeah? It's not easy. It's not an easy shot.
Yes.
But what you did wrong for me is you hit it too hard. Now what I'm saying is you're not going to hit it very, very soft so that if you miss it, 10 balls stays in the pocket. I understand that.
Yeah.
But also, you still, I mean, look, I don't know, 5 balls are easy enough. I don't know. I don't even like that shot. But I understand why you went for it. Because if you play a little bit softer, it has more chance to go in. Because you hit it so hard, you have to be very, very accurate. Now maybe you hit it hard because you're scared that if you miss it, it stays over the pocket and he's going to win. You're going to give him the game. I understand that. For me, you just hit it a bit too hard. What I'm saying is that that's only an example. What I want you to do is learn from that. So if you have that shot again tomorrow or next week or whatever, but you play it slightly differently. So what we're saying is when we play, we need to learn from our mistakes so that we don't do it. Look, we're never going to not do them again. We're always going to make mistakes. We're always going to miss balls. We're always going to do that.
Yeah.
But what we have to do is we have to try to learn from what we did wrong so that we don't do it as much the next time. So what I would say to you is, do you ever watch the videos back from when you play on this table? Do you ever watch them on YouTube? You watch yourself play on YouTube?
I go on YouTube. I watch because I have one game 6 balls here and I missed this cue.
You missed it.
That's why. Yes,
the cue ball went round the back, yeah?
Yes, I'm so sad because the 6 ball miss and the 7 ball, 8 ball.
Very easy, yeah.
So I remember.
Well, why did you miss cue? Is it because you couldn't reach? Were you stretching over?
Not about this. Oh yeah, I want short same line. Soft. I want to move here.
Yeah.
And
So what you probably did, I remember seeing in this cue, what you probably did is you maybe go a bit too low on your cue ball, or what you should do is watch the video back and watch your stroke. Don't watch the ball, you know what happens with the ball, watch your stroke. Maybe you jabbed at the ball, maybe, and that's why we do a little warm-up when we try to work on our stroke. I did it, I remember last year or the year before, I have a 7 ball like this, and a 9 ball is like this.
Yeah.
I've got 7 and 9 left. And I had this shot, and all I've got to do, I can, maybe it's a bit straighter. All I have to do is, I can go forward with spin, or I can even draw it back.
Yeah.
But what I did was I just got down on the shot, and I was very, very careless, and I miscued. And I'm like, what the fuck, how bad is that I miscued? Because I didn't take enough care of it. The shot was so easy, I didn't take enough care.
Yeah.
I didn't play the shots like I would normally play because it was almost too easy.
Yeah.
It can't go wrong. I'm not saying that's what you did, I'm saying that's what I did. So when you play on table 9, what you should do the next day, even if you lose the game, I always used to do this, even if you lose the match, watch your match back and try to learn from your mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're watching the game, you're not really watching the balls and what happens with the balls, you're watching your technique, you're watching your cueing, you're watching your body, see if you stay still, all that sort of thing. And then what we do is we try to learn from that.
But you know, when I play finish, I go back, I look on YouTube, I look the video, and this camera angle is very good. That's why if I look back, camera, okay.
You think it's good or not? Many people complain about it.
Yeah, same this snooker. If I want shot here and come back, right?
Yeah.
If on the video, I look it's so easy because this point I'm very clean, but it's not.
Yeah, exactly. You know, well that's that. I understand that.
Yeah.
Because you know sometimes I'm sitting here
Yeah.
and I'm watching somebody and they have 5 or 6 balls left to run out,
Yeah.
and it's all so easy to see.
Yeah.
Because you're way back from the table.
Yeah.
When you get close up to the table, all of a sudden sometimes it doesn't appear so easy, or it doesn't appear obvious how to run the balls out or how to play the shot. Yeah, for sure. I've watched myself in the past, and I'm trying to get out of a snooker, and I watch the video and I'm thinking, I'm not going to hit that because I'm aiming in the wrong place. But obviously, when you're here at the table,
Yeah.
it looks okay to you. Otherwise, you wouldn't play the shot. Same with me. But when I watch the video, I'm thinking, I'm not going to hit that. I'm going to miss it here or something. I'm like, why am I aiming there?
Yeah.
But it's just, I guess our eyes can sort of, our eyes can almost deceive us, and we don't actually. We think what we see is okay, but we don't see it so clearly. So. It's good that for me, it's good that when you play on this table that you watch your games. But what you have to do is not just watch them, you have to learn from them. You have to learn from little mistakes and things that go wrong so that we don't do it again. So that miscue. Maybe you're cueing, I don't know, maybe you just jabbed at the white or something, I don't know.
I look the video, I used the shot already, you know.
Yeah.
And also miscue.
So that it can only be your cue action then. It can only be that you just jabbed at the white, or you didn't push the cue through nicely, or you went too low on the white and that's why we miscue. Maybe we get too low on the cue ball. But you know, sometimes you could hit too low and it'd still be okay. Just, I don't know. When I saw it, I'm like, wow.
I can this one, I don't believe myself. So
We can all miss anything.
so I can tell you, okay, I will do it. You will do it. And the only natural
Ball
shot
king, yeah?
and
This is the ball king shot.
yes. What is that?
You know something? I talked with Ollie after the competition finished on Thursday, and many people have gone. I think you're still here with Millsy, but I'm talking to Ollie, and I'm saying the more I know about that story, the more we are upset about our decision. Because I know when you're playing him, he'll be talking to you while you're playing.
Many times.
He'll talk to you many times.
Yes.
But then you do it to him and he uses it as an excuse. On Thursday, when he lost the next match, he walked straight out, he paid his bill, and walked straight out, never said a word to anybody. Because he knows he was wrong. He knows what he was wrong. He said to me, before he played now, he said to me, oh, there's no way I can win now, it's all in my head, it's doing my head. I said, well, just let Chin go through that. He didn't know what to say. Because the problem is, Chin, is that Paul has got a lot of money there, but you can never have enough. Everything is about money. He always talks, it's always money. Everything. And when he set up the shot after he missed it and potted it, I bet it wasn't like that. I bet it was more like that.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's his reenactment of the shot.
But
the first one was much
for
harder.
this angle, when he miss after level here, how can he miss? Miss level. how can you play? You know,
Oh, wow.
this angle, this is last level is short, right? But if this angle, how you can miss up the level go there?
Well, it just depends, you know, if this is in the white go like the night like this and the people go all the way.
Cannot work.
Well, I know, you know, me and Ollie feel sorry for you. That's why we said, look, next time you play, it's free entry because he just, you're a nice guy. You want to come and play pool and have a bit of fun, and he said we already know he'll say he's not playing or whatever. He's going to give it a week because it's too serious. But he's the one who makes it serious because he's trying to talk to you and be friendly with you. But then when you do to him, he doesn't like it. I mean, that's not fair, is it? That's not right.
Yeah, but when we play first, Hi Chiu, you are my good friend. You are my good friend. I remember before you let me win because you want to take it down. I remember. Please, we are good friends. Oh, okay. After, when we play 4-3, right? I 3, him 4, and oh, Chin, you want to kill me. You want to kill me. After the call the bus coming, talk about for the double case captain, blah 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 something. And okay, able here, 9 ball here, 1 ball here. I shot able. Oh, good shot. What? you know my name after I miss level.
The thing that frustrates me about this is that if you're playing on table 9 or table 8, he won't do that.
Yeah.
He's only doing it because you're over there on table 11 out of the way,
Yeah.
and he knows he's basically sharking you there, and it just frustrates us because it just seems to be that whenever there's like an issue or a problem or something happens, he is always involved.
Yeah, I think I'm not angry about for the give the poking win. I'm not angry this. I'm angry myself because I think you are my good friend, but I'm stupid. I'm wrong.
Yeah, you think that he's a nice friendly guy.
Yes.
And he's talking to you, so you talk to him, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, what are you doing? You can't do that.
So,
I'll tell you a story, yeah?
I only when shot the people, I only skip here. Why? After
That's all he said is why.
I only why. If he say, how did you can do that? I say when I speak English, when you look at me, I use the didn't. I never used this similar like English. Right? But how I can speak too much English?
I'll tell you a story. Yeah? One of the first times he come to play here, he played against Pipe. You know Pipe's a really nice guy, laid back. You never see him get angry.
Yes.
Now Pipe didn't get angry when he played him, but Pipe said to me after he played him, he's like, that guy, he never stops talking to me while I'm playing. I'm trying to concentrate on my game, and he's constantly talking to me. And because of that, we then had to put Paul on table. This is one of the first or second times that he played.